Have you ever gotten all of your footage into your editing timeline and realized the audio is complete trash? Well, we've all been there. And by the end of this video, I want to give you some practical tips on how to get better audio on your shoots. Not every shoot is going to have the benefit of bringing a sound up. So these tips are for people that are either shooting by themselves or are just really trying to get better audio for their projects. I'm currently in New York City on a video shoot and I'm having a good time. So that's what all this stuff behind me is. The first thing I'm going to say is to not use the microphone that's built into your camera. Okay, you're going to get better audio even if you use a basic microphone that is external to your camera. The next thing you need to make sure you do is you need to take your wind protection seriously. Wind is a thing and it can ruin audio. So make sure that you're using wind protection, even if you think you might not need it. Put that wind protection on, because taking wind out of audio is one of the hardest things to do. Also, make sure you're wearing headphones while you're shooting. Even if you're just shooting B-roll for a client, put headphones on. It really helps you dial in and understand what's happening with the audio. I find that when I'm wearing headphones and I'm just shooting B-roll, my B-roll's better because I'm listening to what the microphone is picking up. It helps me be more focused, and it can help you just get better shots. And it can help you understand if there's a problem with the audio. Proximity wins every time with audio. So how close you are between the microphone and the subject is one of the most important aspects of getting good audio. The closer you are, the better your audio is going to be. So if you're shooting by yourself and you have a camera with a mic on top, and you're like, I need to interview this person and get some sound bites from them, get close. We're talking like 2 feet. Get close. Do not stand back 5, 6, 7 feet. The closer your microphone is to the sound source, the better your sound is going to be every single time. If you're in a documentary setting and you have an opportunity to put a microphone on somebody, you should do it, because that lav mic is always going to be closer to the person's mouth than your camera is. So if you're following somebody around in a setting such as a documentary, a lav mic will improve the quality of the sound that you're going to capture from that setting. And don't be afraid to use a lav mic, especially on the DJI mics and the Rode mics that allow you to plug in a lav. Plug in a lav mic, okay? It's going to sound better than the little onboard microphones that they give you with those units, okay? So don't be discouraged if you don't know a lot about audio, right? On every shoot, just find a new method, right? Just use a new way to get audio on every shoot. Pick a new method and try it out and see what it sounds like, and then get the footage back in the software and, listen for yourself. The best thing for your knowledge with audio is your ears. Listen. Record some footage, take it into the editing, listen, okay? Make your own decisions just based on what you hear. When you're using an external recorder, if you have something from Zoom or Tascam or sound devices, whenever you're using one, make sure that you get the date and time set in that recorder, and make sure the date and time in that recorder matches the date and time of your camera. As it relates to external recorders, just make sure that when you're using an external recorder, that you consider recording longer clips. So let's say you're out and you're using a recorder and you're using a camera with you and a couple friends and you're shooting some stuff. It's going to be easier in the editing to synchronize all that external audio if you do longer recordings on the external recorder. It just is, because when you get that into the editing, it's just easier to line up, okay? Also, consider turning off limiters in your camera. I know this is sometimes a dangerous thing that scares people, but consider turning off the limiters. In some cameras, that is labeled as AGC, auto gain control, or ALC, auto level control. Consider turning that off, especially if you're wearing headphones and you're using external microphones. Just try to run your manual levels and you're going to get better audio, because the limiters on cameras can really impact the quality of audio. Yes, it will stop it from clipping, but it's not going to sound as good and clean as if you just get that level set manually and wear some headphones. If you're in a noisy area, consider using the human body as a shield for the noise, okay? So if there's a bunch of stuff happening behind you, consider using the human body, as I'm standing right here, as a shield. I have a lav mic on me, and my body is blocking a lot of the sound that's coming from behind me. Same goes for wind. Use the human body to block the wind. So position yourself in such a way that the wind isn't going to hit the lav capsule, the wind is going to hit your back. Also, in relation to noise, echo is extremely hard to remove in post-production. Echo and reverb. So if you're in a room that's got a lot of flat surfaces to it and someone's talking, that's going to be really difficult to remove in post-production. So try to minimize echo as much as you can. That can be as simple as finding some cloth to put around your subject. It can be maybe taking someone slightly out of an echoey space. So maybe the space that you want to feature is behind them, but they're out of the space. You can put them in a doorway sometimes, and that will minimize the echo. Just keep in mind that if you can hear with your own ears echo and reverb, if you can hear that a space is really, as they call it, live, which just means that everything that is, everything that someone says it bounces all around the room and it gets really echoey and verby, if the room feels like that to your ears, it's gonna feel like that to the microphone. So the microphone is gonna record exactly what it hears. And reverb is just really difficult to remove in post-production. So just try to stay away from that. Also, if you have someone running a boom, let's say you're doing a project where you have a friend who can hold a boom and get some audio going for you, make sure that person is wearing headphones. Okay, maybe they're using an external recorder and they're booming some dialogue or some B-roll. Don't let somebody run a boom without headphones. They need to hear what they're recording. Okay, it is very important. I've had situations where as an editor, I get footage back in and someone was running a boom, but they weren't listening on headphones, and it just it baffles me, right? So make sure that if you do get the opportunity to work with someone that's running a boom, make sure they wear headphones. If you have to tap a system, such as, for a wedding and you're tapping a DJ board or a special event and you're tapping a board, you should always assume that that board is going to send you really high levels. So in sound, we call that line level versus mic level. Soundboards send you really hot signals. Be ready for that. Just assume that on your device that you're going to have to change it from mic level to line level if you're connecting to a soundboard. That's a really good place to start to make sure you don't blow your audio coming from a soundboard. I hope these tips are helpful. I hope you've got some practical knowledge here. I'm just trying to help out. I'm a location sound guy full-time, and I have the benefit of all sorts of expensive gear and microphones and mixer and all sorts of stuff. So I just want to help people that don't have access to all that have better audio. Because my goal in life is for people to not have bad audio. So get out there and make some great sound, and we will see you in the next one.